There are fears properties have been damaged or destroyed by several out-of-control blazes burning across the state. There are 12 emergency warnings in place as firefighters try to gain the upper hand on the inferno overnight. Ferocious fires show no mercy for residents on parts of the state's north coast. Firefighters are being stretched to the limit as they battle an unprecedented number of blazes across the state. At one stage, a record 17 emergency warnings were in place for more than 90 fires burning across the New England region, the mid-north coast, the Northern Rivers region and the Blue Mountains. Water-bombing aircraft took to the skies, assisting crews battling blazes on the ground. Near Port Macquarie on the mid-north coast, several fires jumped containment lines. There are reports several properties have been destroyed. Residents in affected areas have been forced to flee their homes and seek shelter.
A mighty inferno.
We've been here for 50 years and this is the worst I've seen.
The wind had changed and it was coming towards us that it was time to get out.
My missus has already got bags packed and she's left, so I'm just waiting and I'll take the dog.
More than 1,000 firefighters and 70 aircraft had been deployed to the fire zones. But the Rural Fire Service says it is unable to reach everyone because of limited resources and the ferocity of the fires.
You need to know, though, once a fire gets to an emergency alert level, we may not be able to get to help you. We haven't got the resources to be able to put into every single area, so you must be prepared to survive yourself. Authorities are warning residents who are in the vicinity of emergency level fires to take immediate action to protect their lives and keep up to date on conditions through the New South Wales RFS website and the Fires Near Me New South Wales app. Conditions are easing this weekend, but Sky News meteorologist Rob Sharp is forecasting the hot and windy weather to return.
Yesterday was an unprecedented day in New South Wales with as many as 17 emergency warnings, but what is still to come? I've got the details for you now in terms of the weather forecast across New South Wales, Queensland and also in Western Australia, with more dangerous fire weather still to come. We had fires breaking out across Queensland and New South Wales, with many facing extreme fire weather conditions with hot and windy weather. Although through the night we've seen that subtly change, rocketing on through, and it's continuing to make its way further northwards through Queensland. Thankfully, dropping temperatures. We're only looking at very high fire dangers across the major fire grounds where we have seen emergency warnings through the day. So that's the yellow shading, with severe fire dangers only in the Wide Bay, Burnett and further north. Meanwhile, the focus of the dangerous fire weather for today is in Western Australia. We've got hot and windy weather in the west. Even in Perth, looking at 40 degrees for today. That is the hottest November day in 16 years, and we've got severe fire danger joining with it and extreme fire danger for the central west, so including the Geraldton area. So any fires in the region will be fast moving and dangerous, and that heat is on its way towards the east. So by Sunday, it's going to be often through central parts of WA. By Monday, in South Australia and pushing into Victoria. And by Tuesday, it is well and truly back in New South Wales with powerful winds once again, dangerous fire conditions on the ground. Severe fire danger is forecast for 11 districts in the east, from the Darling Downs Granite Belt right down to the south coast, with extreme fire danger in the Hunter district as well. So this fire event is anything but over.
And joining us now on the line for an update is James Morris from the New South Wales Rural Fire Service. James, thank you so much for your time tonight. Tell us how many properties have been damaged or destroyed in these blazes.
Yeah, good evening, Jacinta. Look, it's unconfirmed yet at this stage as to exactly how many homes have been destroyed. Unfortunately, obviously, as I'm sure most people are aware, that the fire situation that we've had across much of northeastern New South Wales today has been very unprecedented. We had 17 fires at emergency warning, which is the most we've ever seen at that level, especially at this time of year. But we've never, in fact, had that across New South Wales previously.
And what are those emergency warning levels? How many of those are there at the moment?
Yeah, so we've still got about 16 fires remaining at emergency alert. Now, primarily that's because we've seen that southerly influence now move right across a number of these fire grounds, which has seen some fairly gale-force winds pushing that fire in a north-northwesterly direction across a number of those areas. So those fires have burnt very quickly and very hard today. We're now seeing that northern flank of those fires, which is kilometres wide, now turning into the head of the fire and obviously threatening a number of residents and communities to the north of those fires.
Tell us then, what's the update on how many bushfires are actually still burning across the state?
Yeah, so we've still got 82 bush and grass fires burning across New South Wales, with 49 of those still to be contained. We are seeing a little bit more favourable conditions compared to what we saw today. We are seeing very high fire danger across the northeastern parts of New South Wales. Still 4 total fire bans in place for a number of those areas in the northeastern corner. But obviously we're still not out of the woods. We've got significant fire in the landscape. Just to put it into perspective, the fires that we've seen burn today and yesterday, they've covered more of an area than what we've seen burn across New South Wales in the last 2 years combined. So significant fires right across New South Wales today. Yeah,
and as you say, unprecedented conditions. Your resources must be extraordinarily stretched. How many firefighters are on the ground at the moment battling the blazes?
Yeah, so we've got just over 1,000 firefighters working across a number of fire grounds. Obviously, not all of those RFS. We've got our counterparts from Fire and Rescue New South Wales, as well as national parks, state forests, but as well as our interstate colleagues from Victoria, Tasmania, South Australia, Western Australia, Northern Territory, Queensland, New Zealand. We've seen significant support and assistance, and they're only too happy to assist in our time of need.
So, as you say, you're calling in reinforcements from other states. Can you give us an idea on numbers there?
Yeah, look, we're seeing hundreds of firefighters, and the call has gone out again today. A lot of those being transported through aircraft and the assistance of the Australian Defence Force to be able to assist in getting these crews up here quickly, given those conditions that we've seen today, just to give local firefighters and, these crews that have been battling now for 10 or 11 weeks across northern parts of New South Wales, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's, still early in the season. Obviously, we're not even in summer yet. We're not seeing our long days of 35-plus degree temperatures. So certainly worrying times ahead, Jacinta.
Yes, indeed. James, we're hearing reports too of residents who are making calls for help, and you just don't have the resources to actually go and rescue them or help them to get to safer ground. Is there going to be a situation where residents are going to be trapped in these fires?
Oh, look, we did have reports earlier today, obviously, with how quickly these fires were moving, that we did have a number of residents who were trapped in homes. Now, obviously, as we said, we do tell people to call 000 if there's an imminent threat to life, and we will try and get an emergency service vehicle, whether it be a fire truck, a police car, an ambulance, into those areas to ascertain the threat and try and remove people if it's safe to do so, or try and protect them if it's possible. But simply today, we just couldn't get to everybody who did seek assistance, which is obviously a sad time. But unfortunately, look, these crews have worked around the clock trying their best, and it is unfortunate to see that that's the case.
We can then ascertain that there is not a situation tonight where there are people actually trapped in their homes.
Oh, look, at this stage, we haven't had any advice. We do have residents and people still trapped in homes. Obviously, we've still got a very, very unique fire situation across the state, as I said, with these southerly winds now pushing these fires in a northerly direction. It is certainly going to be a long night and certainly a long morning and a couple of days ahead for firefighters yet.
And James, what are you telling people to do who are in those emergency areas? Are they best to stay put or to try to escape?
No, look, at this stage, for all our fires we've got burning across New South Wales, that's an emergency warning. Our message to them is seek shelter as that fire approaches and protect yourself from the heat of the fire.